happy Wednesday it'll be a Wednesday when I post this, but who knows? Today I'm back with another Zoom interview. I am so excited because if you might know, I'm a member of the Boundless Faith Society, and today I have one of the middle sister talking about her money. So if you want to hear about that, make sure you turn on subtitles because I have them. People don't realize I have them there. Hi, if you're new, make sure you have the description box for any how Mickey or any other information that you are looking for. Like this video and comment down below any questions you may have. So Mickey, welcome to the channel. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, yeah, my name is Missy Mikulik. I am a Rolette Little Sis. I've been on the team for a little over a year now. I have a spinal cord injury. I was paralyzed a little over 2.5 years ago. That's crazy to say. I feel like I was paralyzed like a year ago, maybe. I feel like I have so much more knowledge now, though, even though it feels like it was yesterday. I feel like I have all this knowledge. I think it's because I have been a part of the Rolettes and they've given us such, all this knowledge because they have this platform. So I'm very that I've gotten to be a part of this team. But yeah, I had a tumor removed and that left me paralyzed. After they removed it, I didn't think that I was going to be paralyzed. They said that they were going to go in, everything was going to be better. But after I woke up from my surgery, I was paralyzed from the belly button down. And as you could imagine, that was very scary. And I started therapy about a week later, and I had absolutely no movement and just a trickle of like feeling. And that has just increased over the past 2.5 years. So I can walk a little bit with a walker and a brace on my right foot. So I'm just going to therapy and trying to continue my recovery and just walking and wheeling.
Awesome, yeah. When I heard about your journey, I was like, oh my God, I have to interview her because it's so incredible. I know have my own journey with therapy and everything like that, how much it can do for everybody. Like, it's amazing how much working out and fitness can change a person's life, even with a disability.
Right.
And
Yeah.
also, I need a community. I think a lot of people think that women sit at home and don't go out and stuff like that and don't have a quality of life. And honestly, that's not true at all.
That's not true. Yeah, we definitely go out and we do a lot of stuff and we work out a lot and we definitely have lives.
Yeah. Oh my, do you you put on like pain being disabled? And if so, how?
Can you repeat that for me?
Do you put on like pain being disabled? And if so, how?
Yeah, I definitely think my perspective has changed. I think when I was working, I was in the medical field. I was a sonographer, and I've always been like a big sweetheart, and I've always wanted to help people. So even though they would say that they don't need help, like maybe I would offer someone that was in a wheelchair assistance and they would say that they didn't need help. And I would, are you sure? I've got the door. Are you sure I can help you with that jacket? Are you sure I can help you onto the the table or the bed or get your shoes on or whatever it may be. And they would be like, oh, I've got it. Are you sure? I can help you. I don't mind. Now I understand, they do have it. They're very independent. We've got it. Just because we're disabled, it doesn't mean that life is over. It doesn't mean that we're not independent and that we can't do things. We just have a different way of doing it. We just adapt things, and we may just have a creative way of going about it. So yeah, I think life has just changed a little different.
Definitely. Even for me, a 21-year-old now, but I was so used to everyone doing everything and everyone planning out my daily life for me for so many years. When I became an adult, I was like, you know what? No, I got it. But I have it under control. Don't try and help me. I will make my own plan. I will let you know when you need to help me.
Yeah, I'm sure being at that age too, like you're still like trying to grow up,
Yeah,
having a disability. So I bet that is kind of a different age.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. And people, when I'm out in public, and I like to try and do things before someone helps me. And so many people are like, no, I'm at it. I'll help you. I'm like, don't help me. You're not really helping. You're actually
Right.
putting me in danger in some way.
Right. You're not allowing you to learn and do it.
Yeah.
If just doing it for you automatically, then you're never going to learn to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
I know in your TikTok toy video, you mentioned that you heavily practice hard at her, but when they brought your wheelchair in, it made you a Hedom along with being a paralyzed God. What was the significant moment for you?
So when they brought out that wheelchair in my TikTok, is that what you're referring to?
Yep.
Yeah. That was like a really emotional moment when they brought me my wheelchair for that very first time. I had been laying in a bed for like over a week after being paralyzed. They wanted you to lay flat on your back after surgery for so long and not move. And then after that, I went to therapy, and I hadn't learned to move a whole lot after that. So I wasn't sitting up very much, and I hadn't actually gone to therapy yet. So I hadn't gotten out of my bed. And then they bring me my wheelchair for the first time. And so like emotions just like came
Right.
over me, and I was just like, freedom, I
Right.
wasn't afraid of it. My mom looked at me kind of like, oh my gosh, she's going to be so upset seeing that wheelchair. And my first thoughts were just like, freedom, I
Right.
finally get out of this bed. Ooh, I'm getting chills right now. Because I just remember that moment just being like, I get to get out of this bed. I get to, have my freedom back. So it was really emotional at that moment.
Yeah, I think having a disability means a different thing to us than it normally means to an able body. At least that's what I'm discovering, because when I tell people like, oh my God, I'm going out with a pen today without my family, the freedom to me, or when I stay home alone, that freedom, and I freedom means a lot of different things in the disability community.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, and especially when it's a mobility device. Like, oh my God, I finally do something because I have that mobility device.
Yeah, my mobility devices are everything to me. You know, I've got my crutches, I've got my braces, I've got my walker, I've got, you know, my Bioness, which is like this thing that shocks my
Wait,
leg.
I did that for PP for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So I've got all my different mobility devices, and to me, they're freedom.
I
So
know. Yeah, I have a walker with here behind me, and then I have a wheelchair and a hanger and all that, and a bike. Like today, I went to a lawn bike ride. So
oh wow,
yeah,
that's cool.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. So yeah, mobility devices are freedom too. So.
Yeah.
Let's see. I know you have recently wanted your rehab money. What your biggest motivation for wanting that money, and can you explain a little bit about it?
Um, my rehab. So I've been doing rehab since like the beginning of my paralysis 2.5 years ago, but I always switch it up. So I never stay at the same place for too long. Even though I love where I'm at the time, I never stay at the same place for too long because I never want it to be like stagnant. I never want to get too used to it. So I may be at like one place for 6 months and then I go to a gym instead of a therapy place. I'll go to a gym and then I'll stay there for 6 months and then I'll go back to another therapy place and maybe 3 months. And then I have someone come to my house and work with me every like once a week, every Wednesday. And we do, I do aerial silks.
I know that's so cool. I thought and I was like,
And
wow, I really want to do it.
they're hanging right here. Yeah. So I have someone come and she works with me. I do them on my own. I train myself how to do them, but I have someone come every Wednesday and we'll do more like occupational therapy type stuff. And then we do yoga using the aerial silks.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we do kind of different therapy. So I like to switch it up a lot. So I just recently switched it about maybe 2, 3 weeks ago. So that was my big recent change. And I went to a new gym. So my biggest motivation is just, I think my husband, he motivates me a lot.
Yeah,
Honestly.
I feel like when you have a disability, at least for me, I'm kind of like you. I like to pick it up a lot, and I think so we don't get bored or frustrated with it because I ride horses. That's one of my things that I do.
Wow, I wanted to try that.
Oh, you definitely could.
Do you love it?
I do love it. I started on my best friend's horse, and then he went on to power. So now I ride at a therapeutic horseback riding place, and it's really late. I think you can try it definitely.
That is my next thing that I've wanted to try.
Definitely. I mean, they have people on the inner side of you. I mean, you're not in a fall over or anything like that.
Good to know. Yeah, I love changing up my therapy. That's what I love doing. Like every 6 months or so, that is like my big change up.
Yeah,
Horseback riding is my next thing that I want to try. So that's what
definitely.
you said.
Yeah, I do that, and I do treadmill, and I do my bike, and I hike, and all
Wow.
those things. Yeah, and it's really fun to hang it up. And I think that every time you hang it up, you add a new motivation. I feel like.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, I definitely recommend horseback riding.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna do it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Gonna,
it's really fun. And you build an edible bond with the animal too.
aw, I love that.
Yeah, I'll have to send you a picture on Instagram.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah,
I would,
me writing. Yep, and a video on my YouTube channel too.
okay,
Yeah,
I'll check it out.
yeah. Let's see, and my what is your biggest piece of advice for newbie Indian people who might be handling with the idea of their new bike?
Okay. Can I give two?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Two things. One is find your community. Find something that you love, whether it be therapy, like go out and find therapy, like horseback riding, that
Right.
you bond with animals, or
Right.
go out and find a gym if it's not therapy, because some people don't have like insurance. So maybe like find just a local gym. My gym is only like $30 a month. So it's not like a, hundreds of dollars like going to a therapy place. And that gives you community, or finding a sport. Like I found the Rollettes. I love dance. Just find your community. And then the second is, I know this sounds silly, but posting pictures on like social media, um, not in, maybe you're not into like posting pictures of yourself, but maybe something that you're into, like your artwork or the new sport that you found or your new community, but it helps you journal and document what you've accomplished. So when you look back over the next few weeks or months, it will show what you've accomplished. So a year later, you get to look back on what you've done. So maybe on your sad days or the days that you don't feel like you've done as much, you can look back and be like, I like that artwork that I did. Or I like when I went to that coffee shop, or when I went and rode those horses that one time, or
Right.
you look back on those things that you accomplished.
Right.
And it makes you feel good, because we do have those times that we are down. It happens, especially when you're dealing with a disability. So that's my biggest piece of advice.
Yeah.
Post on social media and find your community. And when you post on social media, it'll help you find community, because we all just start to flock together. We see those posts, we find each other. So
Right.
it'll help find.
Right, that I couldn't agree with that more because I was told more that I when I graduated in high school. I was like, oh man, I don't have the 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. daily activity. What am I gonna do sitting at home with my family with me, but like not like seeing no people every day? So I turned to social media for
Yeah.
yeah, and found BBS and stuff like that. And I like to document memory too. That's why I have my YouTube channel. Yep. Every video I post is like somehow a memory for me.
Yeah. See, exactly.
Yeah.
So what's your biggest advice?
My business and like would have to be build connections with more people. Like I have to be if you're in high school. I don't know if I have about young people, but if I do. Like if you're in high school, I would say build a relationship before moving before because believe it or not, like to this day, I talk to a lot of my old teachers and a lot of my old connections that I built when I was younger. So I may have this whole community outside of the disability community that I am blessed to bring into my community. So like not only making connections in the disability community, but outside of it too. I think it's really important because that more importantly, people are like, really, you do that, and you be like, yeah, I do, and the point that you hear and the light that you're painting is incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, like, unless you have somebody disabled in your life, they don't really understand. So my biggest advice is to make those connections outside of the community as well.
Yeah, definitely. And
Yeah,
people just, they don't understand unless they're in it.
yeah, yeah. And then you mentioned here amazing story about interable relationships and consent and all that. So, and that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. So I know you're starting a YouTube channel soon too, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did start it. And like I said, I have three that are episodes made, 3 videos made, and like a 4th one that's almost made. I just need to post them.
Yeah, so I will mix it down below if that's okay. So I'll mix it down below here so you may hello subscribe and follow Mickey because he's amazing. And I will see you in my next video. Make sure you will follow her, follow me, do all the things, and I can't wait for my next video. Bye bye.